Have you ever looked at something your whole life and then one day realized you missed something big? Something that was right in front of you the whole time? That's what we're about to talk about. There's a book at the very end of the Bible. It's called Revelation. It's full of wild dreams, powerful symbols, and things that sound almost like a movie. Beasts, dragons, a war in heaven, a mark on the hand or forehead, and a mysterious number, 666. Many people are scared of Revelation. Others avoid it. But inside these strange pictures, God was showing us something real, something that would come long after John, the man who saw these visions, was gone. John saw a beast rising from the sea, not a real animal, but something powerful, scary, and loud. It made war against God's people and took over the world for a while. People followed it. They worshipped it. For years, people have asked, what is this beast? Some say it's a government. Some say it's a person. Some say it's something that hasn't come yet. But what if it already has? What if John saw something from the future? Something he couldn't name because it didn't exist yet? And what if the answer is hiding in plain sight? Some believe the symbols in Revelation might connect to the rise of Islam, not in a hateful way, but in a prophetic, symbolic way. Could John have seen the Islamic Empire before it even began? Could the things he described, the mark, the worship, the war, all match what happened centuries later? This video is not here to hate. It's here to ask, to explore, to wonder. We're going to walk through Revelation slowly. We'll compare it with history, and we'll ask a big question together. Is the beast of Revelation already here? And did we miss it? Let's begin. To understand what we're talking about, we have to go back to one of the most mysterious visions in the Bible, Revelation 13. It's like a dream that's full of pictures and symbols, but these aren't random. God gave them to John to show him something real, something future. In this vision, John sees something rise up from the sea, but it's not a normal creature. It's called a beast. And it's like a mix of many animals in one. It has 7 heads and 10 horns. Each horn has a crown, and each head speaks proud, powerful things. That sounds scary, right? But remember, these are symbols. They aren't just for fear. They're like clues in a puzzle. In the Bible, the sea often means people or nations. It's not about water. It's about the world being full of noise, confusion, and movement. The heads and horns often represent kings, rulers, or empires. Crowns mean authority. So this beast is like a system, a group of rulers or a kingdom that rises out of the world, speaks against God, and gets worshipped by people. John says the beast was allowed to make war on the saints and was given power for a certain amount of time. The world watched and said, who is like the beast? Who can fight it? That's important. People weren't scared. They were impressed. They respected the beast. They followed it. So let's pause and think. This beast isn't just evil. It's popular. It's not hiding in the shadows. It's out in the open. People admire it. They even worship it, not always by singing or bowing, but by following, trusting, obeying. Some believe the beast is a future system that hasn't come yet, but others think it might have already come. And people didn't recognize it. They were so focused on looking for a monster that they missed the movement. They missed the system, the ideas, the beliefs. If the beast isn't a creature, but a powerful force that controls people's hearts and minds, then maybe it's not something we'll see with our eyes. Maybe it's something we already live with. Maybe it's something John saw, but didn't know how to explain. Let's look deeper. Before Revelation was written, there was another prophet who saw something very similar. His name was Daniel. He lived hundreds of years before Jesus, and God gave him dreams, just like John. In Daniel 7, he saw 4 great beasts, each different from the other. Each one came up from the sea, just like the beast in Revelation. But these beasts had names. They were empires that would rule the world. The first beast was like a lion with wings. That symbol matched Babylon, the empire that took Daniel as a prisoner. The second beast was a bear, raised up on one side with 3 ribs in its mouth. That one matched Persia, the kingdom that conquered Babylon. The third was a leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads. That was Greece, led by Alexander the Great, who moved fast and conquered many lands. The fourth beast was different. It was scary. It had iron teeth. It crushed everything. That beast was Rome, strong, powerful, and ruthless. But here's where it gets strange. Daniel says after the fourth beast there was another one. A horn rose up, a new power, different from the others. It spoke proud things. It attacked the people of God, and it changed laws and times. That doesn't sound like Rome anymore. So people began to wonder, what came after Rome? Some say it was nothing. Rome fell and the world changed. But history shows that in the 600s AD, something rose quickly, faster than almost anything else in history. That something was Islam. It started with one man, Muhammad, who said he was a prophet of God. In just a few decades, the armies of Islam swept across the Middle East, North Africa, and even parts of Europe. It didn't grow slowly like the others. It grew like wildfire. Within 100 years, the Islamic Caliphate controlled more land than Rome ever did. It brought new laws, a new calendar, a new religion, and demanded that people follow it or be conquered. Could this be the power Daniel saw? The different horn? The one that came after the four beasts? And if Daniel saw it, maybe John saw it too. Maybe the beast in Revelation is the same power Daniel saw, just shown in a new way. Let's keep going. One of the most famous and most mysterious parts of Revelation is about the mark of the beast. John says the beast forces everyone, small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. Without this mark, people can't buy or sell. It's a sign of loyalty, of worship. When we hear mark, we might think of a tattoo, a barcode, or some future chip. But in the Bible, marks were often spiritual, not just something seen with the eyes, but something deeper. In the Old Testament, God told his people to bind his laws to their hands and foreheads. This didn't always mean putting something physical there. It meant keeping God's truth in what they did, their hands, and what they thought, their minds. So, what if the beast's mark is the opposite of that? What if it's a spiritual sign of devotion to something other than God? Let's look at some Islamic practices. Muslims pray 5 times a day, bowing toward Mecca. During prayer, their forehead touches the ground in deep submission. Over time, many develop a dark mark on their forehead, called a zabiba. It's seen as a sign of devotion and piety. The right hand is used in rituals, oaths, and declarations of faith. During Islamic declarations of war, called jihad, fighters have worn headbands or armbands with phrases like, "In the name of Allah," or verses from the Quran. Could this be what John saw? He didn't speak Arabic. He had never seen a mosque. But maybe, just maybe, he saw a system of worship that looked very different from Christianity. A system where people showed their devotion with their foreheads and hands. That doesn't mean every person who prays like this is evil. Not at all. Most Muslims are peaceful and kind. But we're not talking about people. We're talking about prophecy, about systems, about symbols. If the beast demands worship, and if people show that worship with their bodies, then the mark of the beast might not be some future chip. It might already be here. Let's look at something even more mysterious, the number 666. Now let's talk about one of the most famous and most confusing symbols in the Bible, 666. In Revelation 13:18 it says, "Let the one with understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 6666. People have spent hundreds of years trying to solve this puzzle. Some say 666 is a code where each number matches a letter. That kind of code is called gematria, and it was common in both Hebrew and Greek. Many ancient names could be turned into numbers. Some people believe it matches the name Nero Caesar, a Roman emperor who hated Christians. Others think it's a number representing imperfection, since 7 is the number of God and 6 falls short. But what if John wasn't writing down a number? What if he saw symbols that didn't make sense to him? Let me explain. The New Testament was written in Greek, but the book of Revelation was copied and passed down over many years. And in some of the earliest Greek manuscripts, the number 666 isn't written as digits. It's written using 3 strange characters, not normal Greek letters. And guess what? Those characters look almost exactly like Arabic script. Specifically, they look like part of a phrase that every Muslim knows. In the name of Allah, Bismillah, and 2 crossed swords often seen on Islamic flags. Some researchers believe John might have been shown a symbolic vision, something like a flag or a badge or an emblem with Arabic writing. He didn't know what it was. He just drew what he saw. Imagine John, a man from the 1st century, seeing Arabic letters 600 years before Islam was born. What would he do? He'd just copy the shapes. That's exactly what some ancient manuscripts show. Could 606 actually be Arabic words? Could it be a name, just like Revelation said? This doesn't mean every person who says Bismillah is evil. No, this is about what John saw in his vision. A warning not just about a person, but about a system, a spiritual force that would rise and lead people away from the truth. It's a controversial idea, but it makes us ask again, what exactly did John see, and are we finally beginning to understand it? Let's go deeper. In Revelation 17, John sees another strange and powerful vision. This time, it's not just a beast, it's a woman sitting on top of the beast. The Bible says she's dressed in purple and scarlet, holding a golden cup full of terrible things. She's called Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes, and she makes the nations drunk with her ways. That sounds intense. But again, this is all symbolic. It's not about a literal woman. It's about a system that has power, beauty, wealth, and leads people away from God. She rides the same beast we read about earlier. That means she's connected to it. She supports it, or maybe even guides it. For a long time, people thought this woman represented Rome. That makes sense. Rome had 7 hills, and the chapter says the woman sits on 7 mountains. Rome was rich, Rome ruled the world, and Rome persecuted Christians. But what if that's not the full picture? Let's look at Mecca. Mecca is the spiritual center of Islam. Every year, millions of Muslims travel there to worship at the Kaaba, a large black cube in the center of the city. The Kaaba is covered in black cloth embroidered with gold, very similar to the purple and scarlet clothing of the woman in Revelation. Pilgrims bring gifts, gold, and wealth from all over the world. Mecca is one of the richest religious cities on earth. And surprisingly, Mecca is also surrounded by 7 hills, just like the woman in the prophecy. The woman holds a golden cup. In Islamic practice, during pilgrimage rituals, Muslims drink from the Zamzam well, believing the water to be holy. In ancient times, this was done with golden or bronze vessels. She is said to influence the kings of the earth. Today, Islamic nations have a powerful voice in global politics, oil markets, and diplomacy. The influence is real and global. Could John have been seeing not Rome, but something else? Something that would rise after Rome? A woman dressed in wealth, riding a beast, surrounded by hills, influencing the world. That sounds a lot like what Mecca became after the rise of Islam. And if that's true, it changes everything. Let's keep going. There's something even more shocking about what Islam says will happen in the end times.